This week on the Organized Life podcast.
The other thing is that I tell people that I love stuff just as much as you love stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're not dealing with a person that doesn't enjoy having things.
Yeah.
And so because I enjoy having things, I want to be clear that I understand how you could have gotten here. And let's figure out how we're going to work our way out of it, because you always think, well, if I have this will be great, and then if I have this will be great, and some things are great, but too much of anything becomes clutter. And
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, I'm not going to say I'm better at it than you are. I'm just going to say the cobbler sometimes has no shoes.
Yes. I love that.
Hey, and welcome to season 3 of the Organized Life podcast, where we are creating a movement with powerful organizing strategies and systems that save you space, time, energy, and money. I am your host, Tequila Renee, the Life Organizing Strategist and the owner of Extreme Audacity Organized Solutions. And yes, I'm so sorry we had to cut it short with Miss Jevata Crawford, but we are back at it today, completing that series, that episode that she recorded. We are not short of nuggets, all right? She is still talking about how to make your move not so stressful. She's also going to get into her new book, Moving in Place. More than boxes. Moving is about you, not just the stuff. So you don't want to miss it. So you can hear all about the new book. We're going to go ahead and get right in.
Realized is that writing a book, like I used to say, entrepreneurship was the best self-help book you would ever write. I say writing a book is the best self-help book you'll ever write now. And the reason is because it forces you to actually think about who and what you want to be. Like, how do you want to be remembered in infamy? And that's what a book does. And so when I recorded the first one, I was still in drafts of the book. And I was still trying to define who it was, who was I talking to, who did I want to be. And I had not done a lot of the self work yet. Now I've done the self work, and I'm like, yeah, that video is not it.
Yeah.
It didn't represent who I am. And so I was like, I have to do better.
Yeah.
And I can do better.
Yeah. Well, good.
So yeah, but I almost think that we try to skip it. Like like we want to skip the what you could call, like, you could call it the waiting room. People have called it the in between. We try to skip it.
You can't.
And that the interesting thing is that what I realized is that people try to skip that with moving as well. Like they just want to be like, they want to be like, I'm moving, I moved. And they want to skip that in between process, which is the process that says, why am I moving? Where am I going next? How am I supposed to arrive there? They want to skip all of those pieces, and then they want their house to be done on the other side. And even as an organizer, we can unpack the boxes, but we can't make it home until you tell us what that looks like. And so, one of the reasons that I wrote down my process is because I wanted to explain to people what I meant when I said that moving is coming home, but you have to be able to define it and have to be able to go through that in between stage.
So I'm glad this is recording because I'm using that. Okay. So
we're just girlfriends talking. So
we are, and that's exactly right. I'm gonna cut that and I'm gonna put it in there. I'm gonna use it for a clip or something. I don't know how I'm gonna use it, but I'm using that because that was some good stuff. Okay.
So I'd say that there are 6 move types.
Okay.
And yes, I'm reading from the book because then I read exactly what I said.
That's right.
And I'll just read it. It says move types. Every move has a shape. Some are quiet, some are chaotic, some are about grief, others are about growth. Before you dive into a deeper reflection, take a moment to name what kind of move you're making. These
Mm-hmm.
move types aren't boxes to fit into, they're guideposts to help you understand your season. If none feel quite right, feel free to write your own move. The first one is legacy. You're sorting through a lifetime of belongings, often lost or downsizing. Reclaim, you're taking back your space or energy or your story. Merge and move, blending lives, styles, or generations. Fresh start, it be saying yes to a new job, new city, or new chapter. And method move, which is just using the movement method to create clarity, even if you're not physically moving. So you're just using the tools to do a move. And then, of
Mm-hmm.
course, there's always other where you're like, Javati, none of these fit me. And then you just
Yeah.
like, But the reason I came up with the different types is not so much that I think that everybody has to figure that out, but it helps me so that I can understand what type of services and skills would be helpful for you
Yeah. That's
as a
good.
mover, because
So,
it's really how you frame it so that you can give yourself some language for it.
yeah, language is important. Language is important. So the name of the book, tell us the name of the book.
The book is called Moving in Place, and it has like a little subtitle because I love subtitles. It just
Yes.
says more than boxes, and
Mm-hmm.
moving is about you, not just the stuff.
That's right. So what inspires you to write Moving in Places? Moving in Place, I'm sorry.
Well, that's okay. What inspired me? Okay, so I had this title, and it was just like I kept thinking about place as location, personal
Mm-hmm.
identity, your like just that whole what place meant. And I knew I love the title. I wasn't sure what the book was going to be about, but
Okay.
I love the title. And so I wanted something that would help people, give them a language of moving as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to a tactical approach to moving, because there's a ton of tactical stuff that's online. Like you don't have to search that hard to find tactical stuff,
Yeah.
right? And so I was like, people need to know the language so that they can articulate and they can feel like they could tell people what was really happening to them.
Right.
And so I was like, okay, how can I do this? And so that was really where the book started. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, initially it's easy to write tactical stuff, like sort
Yeah.
your stuff this way,
Yep.
like it can be easier
Mm-hmm.
to write that. And then I started like thinking, what tools and tactics am I using with clients that they're finding successful? And so then I said, okay, let's be very specific and methodical about the tools that I was using with clients. And what I saw was that I was using tools and tactics,
Yep.
but how I was communicating them and how they were responding was very different.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So it's something as simple as I encourage people to name their move, because like you give it a name to say
Oh.
what you're actually like going through. So right now I'm calling the move that I'm making, as I'm going, on my author journey, I'm calling it my framework era,
Mm.
because I want to explain what the framework is and how how it impacted me as well as how it can impact you. And
Yeah.
so I'm encouraging people to name things, because we name all things that are important to us. People
Yeah.
name their cars, they like everything that we say.
They do.
And also there's a lot of psychology about how when people say our names, how it makes us feel.
Yeah.
It's like they say that's like when someone says your name, it just makes you happy.
Yes.
And so when we talked at the beginning, we were talking about like, how did you come up with that name and what did that
Yeah.
name mean? And
Uh-huh.
then all of a sudden you're like, yeah. So telling that story
Yep.
made it interesting. It made it a little bit
Mhm.
different. So I think if we named our moves, then that helps as well, because then that tells people what we're going through, but
Yep.
you don't necessarily have to, you don't have to like get into too much details, because all
Yep.
great books, all great stories, all great things typically have a name.
They do. That's good.
So,
Yeah.
so those were like the tools that I would be asking people, and even if they weren't calling it something, I might call it something, depending on what was happening or what was going
Mhm.
on. But that would be a
Mhm.
way to talk about things, but not necessarily talk about specific people as well.
Yeah. Understood. How does being a social scientist shape the way you approach moving and transitions?
Oh, well, I am so excited that you asked me
Mhm.
that. I
Love that. I love that.
I'm so
That's
excited.
funny.
So, as a social scientist, which is a newly appointed title, I will tell
Mhm.
you. So, it's not like I was thinking of myself this way like last year or even last month, maybe
Yeah.
not even last week. I was
Listen.
trying to
So
figure out
y'all heard it
what.
here first. Y'all heard it here first, okay?
Yes, yes. So I wanted to. I'm going to test something only because it was like kind of funny, and I was like talking to my sister this morning, and you
Yeah.
remember that movie where someone would say, "I see dead people,"
Yes.
and then I told her, "But I see moves everywhere,"
I know.
right? And so, see, you totally got it, and
Totally got it. I will organize something so fast in my head before I physically do it. I see clutter everywhere.
exactly. So, like, like I see dead people. No, I see moves
I see
everywhere. And
moves.
as
That's
a social
funny.
scientist, as an organizer, as a move manager, what you end up doing is you start seeing patterns and and ideas of
Mhm.
how they can navigate and kind of get through what they're going through. And so social scientists just study behavior. The study that I'm looking at is just how people transition from A to B. And the
Yeah.
interesting thing is that when people are moving, they want someone to have that conversation with, and they
Yeah.
want someone to understand their language. So they
Yeah.
want to let people know, like, if you get a new job, there's different things that go along with that move. It's like, yes, the tactical things of packing the stuff in the boxes does make a difference.
Mhm.
The unpacking of it does make a difference, but there's a whole system that now you have to
Yep.
navigate. Like, getting there to me is one of the easier parts. It's like,
Yep.
how do you land? How do
Yep.
you make this space now your home? How are
Mhm.
you not living in boxes? Because sometimes you end up having to just start.
Yeah.
Like, you get there and you got to start, and you don't have the
Mhm.
time to create what that space looks like,
Right.
or to make better decisions. Like, so if you ask me this morning, what did I do this morning? I mailed books out. I
Okay.
had to go to FedEx to mail stuff from a client that, as they were clearing out. Then I went to help get a Peloton delivered to, the client was selling it because they're selling
Yep.
their house.
Uh-huh.
Then I went to, I mean, like, it's like you have different things, but
Yep.
as you're moving, so one of the person that bought the Peloton, he was just like, so it's not yours. Tell me how you got involved. And so then I explained to him,
Yep.
like how I got involved in that process. And he goes, when I relocated, they didn't help me with this. That would have been great, right? And so, and he was just like, I didn't even know something like this existed, but now
Uh-huh.
I know.
Yep.
And so those are the types of things that, like, that you want to happen.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Um, it's so amazing how we get into these things, these different situations. And then we have stories on top of stories on top of
Hmm.
stories.
Hmm.
And they're just never ending. Um,
Which is
so
good because that means it keeps us employed.
it this is true. And I say that to people all the time when they're like, I'm so embarrassed. I have all this clutter. And I'm like, well, if you didn't have it, I wouldn't have anything to do. I wouldn't have a business. I wouldn't have a job. I love your clutter. You see clutter and chaos. I see possibility. I see what I can
Mhm.
create out of whatever, what you consider your mess. So it's so fun.
Oh, and also, and there is truth to saying that the cobbler has no shoes.
Explain. I haven't heard that one yet,
Meaning
Jevata.
that everybody says, like, "Oh my gosh, your house must be perfect." And I said, "The cobbler has no shoes."
I say that all the time. Well, I don't say that. But listen, I'm a regular person. I live, and I'm not I am semi type A, but I'm not like a soon as I walk home, everything's gonna be put exactly where it's supposed to be. Like I live life, but my house is easy to clean up because it's organized, right? So my house gets messy. By the end of the week, it's I'm in the transition right now of switching out my winter and summer clothes and my spring clothes, and I'm not enjoying it. But listen, hire me to do it. I'm gonna enjoy it big time. And I'm gonna do it fast, uh, productively, efficiently. But here in my own house, them totes are sitting in my room waiting on me. And
Looking at you, talking about when you gonna touch me.
I'm not interested.
And there go the cobbler has no shoes.
I've never heard that one. That's hilarious.
But I mean, it's one of the things. The other thing is that I tell people that I love stuff just as much as you love stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're not dealing with a person that doesn't enjoy having things.
Yeah.
And so because I enjoy having things, I want to be clear that I understand how you could have gotten here, and let's figure
Mm-hmm.
out how we're going to work our way out of it. Because you always think, well, if I have this will be great, and then if I have this will be great, and some things are great, but too much of anything is becomes clutter. And
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say, I'm not gonna say I'm better at it than you are. I'm just gonna say the cobbler sometimes has no shoes.
Yes. I love that. Look, what I like to say too, like our space doesn't grow. It just doesn't. You keep bringing stuff in, you're gonna have a lot of stuff. You got the law of reciprocity is a blessing to everybody. If you bringing something in, my sisters, they give me clothes, and I'm kind of coming into my new style, my new trend. And then when they give me stuff, I release stuff. Okay, well, this may be your new style. You can give some of that other stuff away. So bringing things in, and that's why I have a lot of clothes now, because they gave me some stuff. And now I'm like, okay, well, what is my new style? What do I want to dress like? And so it's a process. And I mean, they think we live these little perfect, organized lives. And, some of us do. I know some organizers. I was talking to Robin, and she was like, girl, my stuff is like, and I'm like, well, good for you, because I ain't that.
I found that, when people say, "Oh, did you always know you wanted to be an organizer when you grew up?" I said, "No. I am the person that stuffed the stuff under the bed and hid it in the closet. I am you, and I am probably still you. I still love stuff. When I told my mom I was going to be an organizer, she said, "I don't even know how that even came into an opportunity for you." Uh, and so it is, and that's another reason why I was just like, I'm not your Pinterest girl, because that's not even
Mm-mm.
my jam. Like, it's not even how I want
Mm-mm.
to live. I tell people that I just need my house to be functional. I need to know where everything is. It doesn't have
Yep.
to be pretty. It just has to work. And
Yep.
so you have to decide where you want to be on that spectrum, and then you can execute from there. I mean,
Mhm.
to me, if you can find everything you're looking for and you can eliminate as many piles as possible, like, that's why I was like, let me do this bathroom, because what was happening is I was just stuffing stuff in the drawer. It wasn't
Mhm.
who I was at this particular moment.
Yeah.
And then I have another girlfriend that loves makeup, so I just gave her a whole little grocery bag of stuff, and she can
Mm.
go through it and decide what she wants to keep, what she doesn't want to keep.
That's right.
Like, I don't need 15 of the same makeup brushes, even though I may
Yeah.
love it and think maybe it'll go out of style and I'll need another one. Clearly, that has not occurred, so I can give away 12 or 13 of them.
Yeah.
So it was it was a it was an exercise, because I have found that it is easier to declutter when you have a location for where it's going to. And so you just have to know what the right conversation is
And when
for
you can see all of it.
you.
Yeah. So what's the most surprising thing that you've learned about people and their stuff?
The most surprising thing I've learned is that no one has a good idea of how much stuff they actually own. They
Ooh.
always think it's less than what it is.
That's
Always.
so real.
Like, you
That's so
never understand oh, I have 18 pair of nail clippers. Like, you don't know that. And the reason you don't know that is because they're in 18 different places. And
Oh,
some of
wow.
that makes sense. You should have multiple pair in different locations, maybe one on each floor or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I am often amazed that when you put all of the same thing together, people are like, I got that many of it. It's
Yeah.
like candles. I mean, we can go down the list of things that people have a lot of, but they don't
Mm-hmm.
realize it because they're in so many different places. And so
Yeah.
once we create kind of like a command center for those
Yep.
things,
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden you realize, why do I mean, because it was just you couldn't find it. Like
Mm-hmm.
Sharpies. Like, how many Sharpies does one person need? But you never had them all in the same place. And then
Yep.
once they get into the same place, you get embarrassed by how many
Yep.
Sharpies you
Yep.
actually own. And
Yep.
so that's where like with moving, and it's important for moving, that's how I help people to figure out what they need to take with you, because
Mm.
to be clear, you are you are often surprised by the volume of things. So yeah, so you just don't know that you had 20 of something.
Yeah. So when I'm working with clients, we do an initial purge and sort. And then once we purge and sort, we have like all the shirts together or whatever the case may be. Then we do a more detailed sort and we sort it into more like items and colors and things like that because you really don't know what you have until you can actually see, oh, I didn't realize I had 6 black shirts that look just alike. I didn't realize I had 6 of these that look just alike, and it helps you to see better. You get a better visual of what you actually have when you can spread it out. Like you said, you pulled everything out of the closet. All right. So, what would you hope listeners to take away from moving in place?
I would hope that listeners take away from moving in place that your moves are important and that they can shape you to who you are going to be. So
Mm,
use those opportunities. Use your moves as opportunities for growth, not just a circumstance.
mm, that's good. I like that. Well, listen, thank you so much, Javati, for being here and imparting so much wisdom into us. I love having this conversation with you, and it really gave me some things to think about because I never considered when we talk about moving and when I learned about your book, I didn't realize how in depth it was. And I thought it was more so about the physical move, but now I get to look at my life as how I'm moving in on a day-to-day operation, how I'm moving in my business and all of these different things. So this is a great takeaway for us.
Yeah. So I mean, because I I think that we have not really let moving be like to shape us to who we are, like, and
Mhm.
who we want to be, because like, as like, a strategic plan is really just your move plan for what you want to do for the year. And
Yeah.
so it's like, it's how you want to move. And so I think it's an opportunity as we are, going from A to B, like, how you want to move in the holiday season is going to dictate what's going to happen in January. Because if you move and you spend all your money, January going to be hard.
January gonna be hard, and it's coming.
And it's coming. So like, how we choose to move and all those all those other things. And don't forget, you can pick the book up. I'm going to say, like, it is on Amazon, but I have been told that it's actually more fun to buy it from me because
Yes.
they come signed when you buy them from me.
Yes. Yes.
And so I have a website. It's www.projectmovelb.com. You just click that button that says buy now. And just to let you know that something's really cool. If you look at the cover on the book, there are some I I curated the cover of the book, so that if you wanted to talk about why each thing was on the cover, every piece has a reason for being on the cover, so that you just know that you can curate any room, any space.
Oh, I can't wait to get my copy.
So yeah, so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, once again, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. So excited. So you guys know here on the Organized Life podcast that we are always saying whatever strategy or system you're putting in place, if it's not saving you space, time, energy, and money, you want to retweak it, you want to revisit it, you want to reshape it, because you should be saving in all 4 areas. If you're not saving in all 4 areas, you are losing, okay? You're losing somewhere, okay? So, if you want to be a guest here on the podcast, feel free to send us an email to at info@extremeaudacity.com. If you want to do a live coaching session here on the podcast, I promise not to embarrass you. Send us an email at info@extremeaudacity.com, and we'll get you in rotation. We'll get that topic discussed for you. That's it. This has been a great podcast. I love talking to Jevata. We could talk all day, but we got things to do, okay? So thank you so much, Jevata, for being here. And until next time, ciao.
Bye.